This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. This broadcast is presented by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith. And by Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank is always ready to lend a hand in the communities that they serve. Log on to MidwestBank.com to find out more.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A battle on the Highway 81 as the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles head on down to Columbus, Lakeview, north of the Platte River. 46 miles separate these two schools and teams as they coalesce here on the Vikings court tonight. Luke Stera here with my color commentator, Andrew Pfeiffer, for tonight's C1 versus C2 matchup as the Columbus Lakeview Vikings head into this game with a record of 15-6 on the season, riding in a two-game win streak, which includes 2 wins over very good opponents, 19-8 St. Paul, and a Class B 5-set thriller against Crete in their most recent game for the Vikings as they head into this game to extend their 3-game win streak. On the opposite side, it's a streak of losses right now for the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles as they come into this game. As far as games goes, one of the most experienced teams this year, 5-27 on the season, 32 matches played for the Eagles this year, most recently in the Guardian Angels Central Catholic Triangular, going 0-2 against GACC and then 0-2 against Wisner Pilger. Coming into this game, Andrew, as we bring you in here, both these teams a little bit different. C1, 15-6 Lakeview, receiving votes in the most recent polls against 5-27 Lutheran High Northeast, the Eagles. What are the Eagles going to do or have to do as they come out here and try and take down one of the best teams in C1?
Oh, look, I mean, there's a lot of things you could look at, many different angles. I mean, take a look at the Eagles, though. I mean, like you said, look, they're sitting at 5-27. The Vikings have about that many losses as the Eagles do wins. So that speaks volumes and differences, but not only are those wins and loss margins so different, keep in mind, they're in different classes. And, you know, on paper, this should be an absolute heyday if you are the Lakeview Vikings. But keep in mind, if you're the Lutheran Northeast Eagles also, be aware of the fact that, you know, you have nothing to lose. You know what the numbers are. You're aware that this team is ranked number 11 in the state for a reason, and that you're coming in and you have nothing to lose. So, given that, I would expect Lutheran Northeast to actually come out a little bit chippier than one would expect, and they might actually put some kills up early.
Yeah, and talking about the Eagles this year, a lot of those losses are against really good teams. You look at Wakefield, 18-7 on the season. Pierce, 23-2 on the season. This Lutheran High Northeast team, as you said, on paper, may not favor them in this matchup, but that's why games aren't played on paper, right? You play it on the court, and for the Eagles tonight, that, like you said, could add to their chippiness, that chip on their shoulder, wanting to come into this game and take down the Vikings.
And, you know, with 32 games played so far this year, that speaks volume to the level of experience that this Eagles team has. I mean, you said, Luke, they played some very good teams this year, so the team has, quite frankly, seen it all. So they've seen the higher-level teams, they've seen the lower-level teams. So having to play a number 11 ranked Vikings in C1 probably doesn't intimidate them because they've probably seen better teams previous on in the year. So like I said, they could come into this with a whole different attitude, and I'm sure that's what the coach has been trying to preach to them, saying, hey, these guys, we've faced harder teams before, so let's come out with a chip on our shoulder and play aggressive. And on the senior night here in Lakeview, that is what I'm expecting them to do. It's not going to be given.
Lutheran High Northeast against Columbus Lakeview. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get you the matchup and the key players as well here tonight on News Channel Nebraska.
Pre-game show is brought to you by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. Check them out at CustomSportsCode.com.
Does Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
At Zollner Ford, come and see our great selection of new Ford vehicles. Whether you're looking to buy new or you need a car serviced, it's our pleasure to assist you. Our online website makes shopping even easier. Browse our massive inventory of vehicles or schedule your next maintenance appointment. We even offer drop-off and pickup services. Stop by today or visit us online at zollnerofbeatrice.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life.
It's never been easier to get rewarded for using my debit card at Midwest Bank. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and with my rewards checking account, I get rewarded for the simple things. Each time I swipe my debit card getting gas or picking up groceries. With Midwest Bank, it's not about how much money I have in my account. I get rewarded.
NCN Sports is brought to you by 5 Points Bank. Trust the better bank with your financial needs. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health. Affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Back here in Columbus, Nebraska, on the north side of town here at Lakeview. We'll jump right into our players to watch. First, we'll start with the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles. A couple juniors for them that are doing really good this season, but the one we're highlighting right now, Josie Spence, the junior. Fantastic leader for this team, and this shows how young the team is, relying 61 sets this season for Spence, 151 kills, leading the team with a 22% kill rate. She is a fantastic player that the Eagles are going to have to use tonight.
Absolutely, an offensive weapon that this Eagles team is going to have to be very reliant on, especially early on in this match. Josie Spence, like you said, 151 kills here so far, and probably averages higher than most people, even on the Lakeview side, considering of how many games that this team has actually played. So Josie Spence is definitely going to be on that. She's going to be fed early. They're going to get her the ball early. She's going to be definitely the difference maker if the Lutheran Northeast Eagles look to make a difference here tonight. But looking over on the other end, Luke, for Lakeview, Taylor Helms, she has 209 kills. So Taylor Helms is going to be their lead horse, Luke.
Yeah, Helms, as you said, 209 kills on the season. One of the two seniors on the squad for the Vikings, her as well as Kula, the two seniors, going to play volleyball at the next level at Concordia as a Bulldog, that college being located in Seward. But she wants to do something here, and she's made an impact so far this year. As you said, 209 kills, almost 50% kill percentage this year. She is attack-minded, almost 500 total attacks, and I think the biggest thing to look at, only 78 attacking errors this season. So not only does she do a good job getting those attacks, but she does a fantastic job on minimizing the amount of errors that she actually does throughout the contest. As we said, for the Vikings coming into this game, 15-6 on the season and celebrating senior night, no less. Go ahead and talk about what that might play into tonight's game.
Oh, now if you take a look at the other end, I mean, think about it this way. It's senior night. It's your last night here playing your home game with or without a postseason, here at Lakeview. And, of course, they celebrated their 3 seniors, 2 of them being Taylor Helms and Kiara Kula. And then, of course, McKenna Jagger, their student manager, that they are celebrating for that senior night as well. So that's going to have a very emotional tie to the game, and expect them to make a big difference tonight.
Yes, you really hope that for them, the Vikings are able to get that win for those 2 seniors as well as the student manager senior. But we will take a short break. When we come back, the first set of action here in Columbus, Nebraska, as Lakeview takes on the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Sundance Investments. At Sundance Investments, trust is a given. Contact them today to review your investments in insurance. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people that we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Bank of the Valley. Together we go further. And by Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill. The place to be after the game is Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill in Columbus. NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Stop by your nearest Speedy Mart or Good to Go convenience stores today. USAFE Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, meeting your sales, service, and parts needs.
And we are back here at the home of the Vikings here in Columbus, Nebraska. We'll get right into our school spotlight, learning about both teams. It's always interesting to see where both teams come from and what their teams are all about. Lakeview, or Lutheran High Northeast. Population, of course, 25,000 in Norfolk, Nebraska, Madison County. And enrollment, 53 boys and 51 girls, 104 total enrollment for the Lakeview Vikings. Same population, 24,234 enrollment, with their mascot being the Vikings. It's almost an NFL matchup here, Eagles versus the Vikings tonight, as they announce the starters for both teams. I think one of the big things that might play into tonight's game is always fatigue. Both teams, though, have not played a single set of volleyball since the 5th of October, that one being against Crete for the Vikings and Wisner Pilger for the Eagles. But as both teams get their starting lineups announced, both teams meeting at midcourt to shake hands. Any final thoughts from Andrew Pfeiffer before we get into this first set?
Well, I think there are implications on both sides. Having those implications be it necessarily what I would consider different levels. I mean, there's something to play for if you're both sides here, especially, Lakeview, it's your senior night, you're number 11, you're looking to just have a good night, do what you normally do, go out and play volleyball, and then on the other end, of course, if you're the Eagles, play with a chip on your shoulder, play a little rough, you have nothing to lose, and, this is a team that you've seen not only the similar skill set, but probably a team that's been even better than this. So you got to come out and you just got to play your best game if you're either sides, and we'll see how it pans out.
Both liberos getting ready to go out on the court here That being Faith Baumgartel for the Eagles and Kenzie Grayson, the freshman libero for the Vikings. First serve will go the Eagles' way, and to start us off here, Keely Ranslum, the 5'8" senior, back to get us started here. It's the Eagles and it's the Vikings. Underway into the backcourt, good dig. Trying to pass this one up into the net by Reagan Lewis. First point goes the Eagles' way. Good start to the contest.
Yeah, and just a little bit of miscommunication there. They had two girls in the same area where they were unable to get the ball over to the other side. Just a slow start.
Ransom, her serve goes the Vikings' way. Blocked at the net. Taylor Helms trying to get that one over. Blocked at the net by a pair of Eagles. As Kennedy Suckstorf and Sophia Wolf combining.
And hey, I said it in the pregame, expect this team to come out firing with a couple of kills early. That's exactly what they're doing.
They're going to try to ride the serve by Ransom. This attack goes over the net, took a little bit of a hit on the net, but point goes to the Vikings.
Yeah, and now once Lakeview is going to start getting their offense going, they're going to really start to open things up. And this could be a whole different ball game.
Helms gets the kill, will serve for the Vikings. An attack trying to go into that back corner by Lewis, unable. Another block at the net. They've been active so far at the net for the Eagles. This one hit a little bit too high and over as Sophia Wolf has the error there. Point goes to Lakeview as they have the first, or the Eagles had the first 2 points, and the Vikings have responded well by claiming the next two. Serve over the net by Ransom. A tough serve to deal with, and it looks like a net violation called. Point goes to the Vikings, and it's always crucial to limit the amount of errors you have for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's back-to-back errors, one coming just from out of bounds and then a net violation. I mean, you got to keep your composure. You went up early. You don't want to get too excited.
As Ransom serve, unable to keep that one in. Goes a little bit too far. Was nearly a perfect serve. Just missing that end line there. So the Eagles will tie things back up 3-3. As back to serve will be Scott. It's the set up and an attack once again by the Vikings, blocked at the net. A little bit of a tap over the net. Causes the dive from the Vikings. Eagles dealing with the pressure well here. Another good dig in the back row. As this one is hit over the net. A good kill by Taylor Helms as she gets her second kill of the night. The senior starting things off hot for the Vikings.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself. Luke Taylor Helms got 2 attempts and 2 kills. A great start.
As back to serve will be Helms once again, 4-3. This one hit into the net by Josie Spence, as that is another error from the Eagles, which leads to the Vikings able to score.
Yeah, and you're starting to see those errors be more and more common, just like you saw there.
A great service ace from Helms, as she now has 2 kills and an ace to her name as well. It's the senior, soon to be Bulldog. Come next year, another service ace for Helms. She is wanting to perform well tonight on her senior night.
Back-to-back service aces for Helms. Unbelievable with 3 kills. And she's put up 5 of this Lakeview 7 points.
Dug up by Spence, passed over to Lewis. So that's a diving effort by the Vikings. Will give the Eagles a free play here. Spence's attack just misses the outstretched arms at the net by Katie Rowe, as that will give another point to the Vikings. As we see the ball nearly colliding with our cam op and camera down there. Got to stay active on the court, as a good dig from Boyer. An attack sent. Another miscommunication by the Eagles, as that will give the Vikings 9 points now, as they have scored 9 out of the last 10 points here to take a 9-3 lead.
Yeah, and Reagan Lewis just tried to get the ball back over, but was unable to do so, resulting in it going out of bounds, and there's another error from this Eagles team.
Another Helm serve dealt with well by Lewis. She'll be the one to send it over. Dug up by Helms. Pass by the Dawson, and another tough kill to deal with as that point goes the Vikings' way, and the Eagles will elect to call a timeout there. Trying to get the block at the net was Lewis, just couldn't quite deal with it, as that will give the Vikings a 10-3 lead here in set number 1. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, more volleyball here on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Back at it here in Columbus, Nebraska. 2 service aces from the senior Helms has helped the Vikings get to a 10-3 lead here early in set number 1. Another tough serve by Helms. It's going to give a free play. Dug up by Helms. Pass by Dawson. A great dig by the Eagles and Scott there. But once again, they'll have to send it to the back row as another attack there from Reese, unable to get anything. A diving dig there from Helms, staying active in the backcourt. Spence's attack goes right to Boyer. A block at the net, but dealt with well, and it looks like they may call lift here on Boyer, and so that will end the run for the Vikings, giving the Eagles their 4th point of set 1.
Hey, and let me tell you, Emma Scott was the key player in that last rally there. She had 2 back-to-back very good saves, keeping the Eagles rally alive, resulting in the point.
Pass by Dawson, as this one is going to be tough to deal with by the Eagles, as that will give the Vikings the 11-4 lead here, as that kill will go to Kiera Kula, as back to serve is Greisen. Is sent a pass over the net by Ransom. As a little bit of a discussion here, looks like they're going to call the violation on the Vikings and give the point to the Eagles. As we see, setting it up here just doesn't quite get over the net. They may have called a reach over there on the Vikings, but nonetheless, that will be a point for the Eagles and a service ace to give them their 2nd straight point. That one courtesy of Whitney Bonning, as she'll be back to serve once again for the Eagles. This one sent over, and another service ace, as Boyer was unable to deal with that one, as that one collided off of her arms. Look at this speed on that one. Just a tough, got it with more of her fist there, Boyer, as that will give the Eagles just a 4-point deficit to get out of. Helms with the dig this time. Didn't look like she was happy with it. A diving effort there by Baumgartel, as she'll be the one to send it over. Dug up, pass by Dawson. Quick move there from the Vikings, as they're going to be able to hit that one again. A meeting at the net ends in the Vikings' favor, as that one will be credited to, I believe, Kiera Kula, as that was a meeting at the net going the Vikings' way. As this one sent over by Kula, passed over here by the Eagles. Spence had a bit of a collision at the net. This one, good attack there from Boyer. Spence, her attack is dug up once again by the Vikings. A nice little rally here. Spence again, another meeting at the net. Dawson's pass, just a little tip over the net from Rowe, Spence will get her name called again. Another good dig from the Vikings. Boyer's attack will collide off of Baumgartel, as that will give the point to the Vikings.
And you really didn't know where that ball was going to end up coming off the hand here. You know, it's really hard to tell, but I mean, it was a good play overall, and that ball might have been out if it wasn't even touched to begin with.
As Kula served, dealt with well by the Eagles. This one tipped over the net by the freshman Dinkle. As this one dealt with well by the Eagles. That attack into the net from Dinkle, as that will give the Vikings the 14-7 lead here in set number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Dinkle just wasn't able to time it up correctly as she just jumps a little too late. Ball's already down net level by the time she reaches it.
Kula sends it over the net. A quick attack there from the Eagles like lightning. Ransom able to get the kill there. Kind of caught the Vikings off guard.
Yeah, Kula kind of tried to dig it up there, but was unsuccessful. You can see her reach out with that left hand, but just great placement of the ball, and she's unable to dig it up.
Josie Spence back to serve. She'll send it over. A hot serve there, dug up well by Kula. Little tip over the net. Good communication from the Eagles. As Dawson once again sends this over. Boyer, her tip can't quite get the attack there, but a great kill from the Eagles as the diving effort from Helms wasn't quite enough there for the Vikings. So that'll make it a 14-9 lead for the Vikings. As we'll see Josie Spence back to serve here. Dug up well. An attack there, commanding a lot of pace behind that one as Katie Rowe able to get the kill.
And that's just sheer power right there. She came down with that right arm swinging, and the Eagles didn't have a chance to dig that one up.
Zollner Ford in Lincoln helping out with this broadcast here. As back to serve for the Vikings will be the junior Brooklyn Jarecki. This one sent over the net, dug up well. A pass here from Greisen, tipped at the net, but again, another miscommunication between the Eagles as that one just couldn't quite get dealt with, as it seemed like two players wanted to try and go for that one.
Yeah, and that's the thing what the Eagles have struggled with all day today is just that miscommunication on their end. It almost seems like they're beating themselves more than the Vikings are beating them.
And a quick attack and kill there from Boyer as that dig just eked to the Viking side of the court as Coach Casey Bielitz very encouraged from what he sees here. A 17-9 lead for the Vikings. An attack goes into the back row. Dug up well by Greisen. Blocked at the net. A great block there from Lexi Dinkle and Sophia Wolf as they both combined had their arms up on this quick attack from Taylor Helms. It's tough to deal with a player as good as Helms, but they did a great job there.
Dinkle doing a great job coming back after she let up the previous point on the last rally, coming back and putting up a great block for the Eagles.
Delancey back to serve. Dug up well. Sent a commanding attack as Helms had her previous one blocked at the net. Gets the kill here off of the quick pass. Has a couple substitutions now for both teams. It's always a tough one to deal with. I mean, look at the pace. And again, our camera crew's getting attacked down there as that one collides with our camera this time. We'll have to bill Helms for that one. As a great dig here from Spence. Dug up, floated over the net by Sucksdorf. It's a long attacking move there from the Vikings. Ends with the Eagles attack getting blocked at the net. Back row attack dealt with well. Dawson able to dig that one up, and a great kill from the Viking side of the court. 19-10 lead. It's just elevating, able to get that ball over the outstretched arms of the Eagles at the net.
A great job by Boyer bringing the hammer down, getting her first kill of the night.
Dawson now back to serve. Those floated serves are tough to deal with. A diving effort from Greisen sent over. Another diving effort from the Eagles this time, but the attack is sent into the net, and that point will go the Vikings' way. Timeout called by the Eagles as the Vikings take a 20-10 lead here in set number 1. As both coaches for the teams, Casey Bielitz, the Vikings head coach, led the team to their first state appearance in 2021. In 29 years, you have to go back quite a ways, look into the history books for that stat there, but 29 years he led the Vikings to the first state appearance in 2021, as they're looking to do that this year as well with a 15-6 record. You want to just pile up those wins, power up those power points come district time, because you want a favorable matchup to try and get to state.
Yeah, and Coach Casey definitely has that decorated resume. Like you said, Luke, he brought them to their first state appearance. I mean, they're number 11 for a reason in this Class C team. Very close breaking top 10, so they will expect a postseason without a doubt. So obviously their season isn't over. This guy has another chance to bring his team to another state appearance, and of course, they can get there with a very talented roster that this Vikings team does have. But taking over a look at the Eagles really quick, like I said earlier, it seems like almost they're beating themselves rather than the Vikings are beating them. Lots of service errors, lots of net violations, but there are times where the Vikings have brought down the more physical performance like you saw just there.
Aaron Briggs at the net for the Vikings, as the attack there from Wolf just unable to get over the tall Briggs there. The sophomore making her name known early on here in set number 1. 21-10 lead for the Vikings, as it's going to be a deep hole the Eagles are going to try to get themselves out of here. And there is a start there, as I believe a line violation called on the Vikings, as Casey Bielitz probably pretty encouraged by his team's performance so far here, but that's why the volleyball matches, they're minimum 3 sets, maximum 5 sets, as that is a service ace there from the Eagles. A great serve there from Keely Ranslum. Ends up with a point for the Eagles, as that one just a little bit awkward for Boyer to deal with, as Taylor Helms attacks the back row there, able to beat the outstretched dive of Josie Spence to get her kill, her 4th kill on the evening.
So she has 4 kills. She has 2 service aces, only in this first set. She's coming out big on senior night, making these plays for Lakeview.
It's back to serve Boyer, the outside hitter for the Vikings. Sends this one to Spence. Spence with the dig. Pass by the Eagles, and that one collides with the net, as they'll call 4 hits. Eagles were trying to keep that one alive, but didn't touch a Viking. So 23-12 here, as it's just 2 points that separate from the Vikings getting set 1 and them not. As a free ball over to the Viking side, pass by Dawson, blocked at the net, ends up on the Eagles side of the court, punched over the net, this time by Wolf. And that one just finding the corner. Taylor Helms, another kill for the senior. Now 5 on the night.
Yeah, and that's 5 for number 5, and expect it to be many more throughout today's match. And I mean, we're just about ready to conclude set 1.
Set point here, a lofted serve dealt with well by the Eagles. There's a pass here from Jarecki, attacks the back row once again. Passed up to the front court, and a great attack there from Sophia Wolf, as that one just collides off of the arms of the Vikings defenders. I mean, look at the concentration there, floating it over, and just can't keep that one up was Emily Brandt. Still set point for the Vikings. Passed up to Helms. Helms floats it over, and she finishes the first set out. 6 kills and 2 service aces for Taylor Helms. Ends that one as the Vikings take set number 1, 25-13. And with that set number 1 being over, we will take a short break. 1-0 lead here after a 25-13 win for the Vikings here on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life.
The Eagles and the Vikings collide here, and the Vikings take the first battle as they claim set number 1 over the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles, 25-13, as the Vikings look to move to 16-6 on the season. And Taylor Helms here on senior night is doing everything she can to make sure the Vikings do.
Oh, absolutely, and dominating fashion as well. Helms has 6 kills on the night so far with 2 service aces. Kula's sitting with 1 kill as well. Rowe also has a kill. Rest coming from errors over on the Eagles side. They've had a lot of them in this first set, but also at the same time, defensively, this Lakeview team has been stout. The Vikings not allowing a whole lot of points over on their end. Only, what was the score of the first set? I apologize. Was it 13?
25-13.
25-13, yes, of course. So only 13 points allowed from this Columbus Lakeview defense, and they're playing well on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball. As Andrew said, playing well here tonight. The student section, look at them go. Love high school student sections.
Well,
look at them. They're pumping them up.
They're
yeah,
chanting
look at
some
that
guy up there. I'm not sure what affiliation he must have. Maybe it's their principal. Who knows?
Love to see it. And as the Vikings claim set number 1 here, the Eagles doing their...
I'll tell you, in about 10, 20 years, I aspire to be that man up there.
You got to. That's the
getting
goal.
All those kids hyped up there.
As Casey Bielitz enjoying set number 1, as we said, by a score of 25-13. Again, the leader for the Vikings in that first set was the senior, Taylor Helms. Not only 6 kills, 2 service aces, as well as 2 digs. As it will be Rowley Boyer back to start us off here in set number 2. As the Vikings look to go up 2-0, and the Eagles look to even things up back at 1-1 here. A diving effort from the Vikings. Give the Eagles a free play right into the arms of Dawson. Helms once again. Not at the camera this time, but ends up in a point for the Vikings.
She closed off the first set with a kill, and she opens it up with a kill of her own. Taylor Helms having the night of her life.
Helms, great placement on that kill. Right in between Wolf and Suxdorf. Another tough serve
Who do you think
from
it's going
Boyer. Yeah, there are not many options for the Vikings, as that is called a violation by the Eagles, and will give a point to the Vikings.
And I'm laughing because I was a little bit early when I called that, but they were setting it up perfectly to Helms, but because of the net violation, no matter, Vikings get the point.
As that one just ekes over the net, able to ride it a little bit there on that attack from Wolf, ends up in a kill for the Eagles. I mean, look at this. Just surfing USA on that net before it gets over, as the Eagles claim their first point here in set number 2, nearly their second, as a tough serve could have been out. Spence digs it up. Wolf on the attack. A ricochet off of the block from the Vikings leads to a kill for Wolf. As Wolf has had herself a decent night so far. 3 kills from Wolf. As back to serve for the Eagles, Ransom. As the Eagles, similar to set 1, even here at 2-2, blocked at the net. Once again from the Eagles. A little tip over the net from, I believe that was Helms once again, but a violation at the net from the Eagles will give the point to the Vikings.
Oh, no, that's just impressive. Taylor Helms, here's a woman that has just been all over the court today. Both ends of the ball getting it done.
It's a great pass over, a tip over, set over the net from Lewis. Goes out of bounds, as that will give a point once again to the Vikings. Similar, like I said, similar to that first set. Got to limit the errors because it can go from an even set 2-2 to a dominating set 25-13 very quickly. Pass here from Dawson. The attack dug up well from Baumgartel. And a little set over the net from Spence. Quick pass there. Little bit of a delay on the attack from Rowe. It just seemed like the attack there was just a little bit out of whack. A quick pass there. Just didn't get the right angle she wanted on that hit.
She might have jumped at it just a little too early, unable to get the right placement on the ball to send it over. Unfortunately, does not end up in a Viking point.
As that is dug up here from Baumgartel, blocked at the net once again. Couple of the Vikings combining for that one, but perfectly placed ball. Sometimes it's not about power, it's about the placement. As that
Absolutely.
was a great.
And I think that, like you were saying, Luke, I think that speaks volumes. Like you said, look at where this placement is on this replay right here. That's not enough for Helms to be able to get the pancake and dig it back up. And that's how this Eagles team can take advantage, is by placement rather than power.
As a touch at the net is called. It did go out of bounds, but it touched someone on that front row of the Eagles, and so that'll give the point to the Vikings. Very close here to start off set number 2, 5-4. Good serve over the net, ends in another service ace as Kenzie Greisen, the freshman libero, getting an ace. She wants to join the ace party with Helms as she gets one here. That one, another diving effort from the Eagles. Somehow able to keep that one in play. That was a great effort there from the Eagles. And the Eagles once again keep that one alive. It was a quick 1-2-3 hit, and it was a one-armed effort over the net from Scott. As we see the attack here collides. 1 Eagle, 2 Eagles, 3 Eagles it takes, but perfectly placed. The Vikings celebrating a little bit early.
Wow. Caught the Vikings napping.
As that one called in, the attack from Kiera Kula. Able to get that one over. Looked like it collided with the net before eventually getting over her second kill on the evening.
Kula starting to get her name in the box score. Haven't heard much of her. The other senior next to Taylor Helms, of course.
This is a nice floated serve over the net. As I said, those can be difficult to deal with, just as the power serve. That one's kept alive at the shoulder. Great quick reaction from Helms. A set over the net, trying to expose the Eagles side. Another one-armed effort, this one by Lewis. This one sent into the back row, nearly hits the ceiling. Spence on the pass, sent over the net from Scott. Quick pass from Dawson, blocked at the net, but on the Eagles side of the court, as that will give the point to the Vikings.
Yeah, and a good attempt from Scott to try to be able to save this rally. Unfortunately, unable to do so. Lakeview takes a 3-point lead.
8-5 here. Spence able to receive that serve by the Vikings. Outstretched arms keep that one up. As Spence tap over the net. It looked like Helms and Boyer were trying to dive for that one. Both of them said, no, I think you got it. But it fell right in between them. Miscommunication there from the Vikings.
And Whitney Bonning now coming in to serve after the substitution from the Eagles. And now they're starting to find a little bit of a rhythm, only trailing by 2 in this second set.
Yeah, the Vikings kind of pulled away early on in that first set. We'll see if the Eagles are able to maintain some of this momentum, but a tip over the net from Katie Rowe gets the kill and the point for the Vikings. If you're looking for a forward, head to Zollner Forward in Lincoln. 9-6 lead here for the Vikings over the Eagles. As back to serve for the Vikings will be Jarecki. Spence with the dig. Good pass here from Ransom. Blocked at the net, as that is now a handful of blocks from the Vikings as those are starting to add up. They're making things really difficult for the attackers for the Eagles. Boyer able to block that one at the net.
Yes, Boyer's done a great job playing up in that front row. She's tall. She's able to have, she has a great wingspan, being able to reach her arms up over the net and prevent the Eagles from, I'll tell you this much, the Eagles would have a lot more points than they did if Rowe was not on that front row, as she has made a dominating defensive performance today.
Fast serve, great pass. Oh, that one looks like it went into the face of Bonning, it looks like, as that will be a point for the Vikings. She looks to be good. Yeah, it looks like it to me here, as we see on our Madison County Bank instant replay. It looked like it did kind of collide with her face.
Well, now we got a little bit of blood time here, Luke.
Yeah, it looks like a bloody nose here. She looks to be in good spirits. Got her a towel and everything.
She took it well when it hit her. She didn't seem to be too phased.
Oh, yeah. Did not seem to, as you said, phase her one bit. Got the towel up there. Hopefully she's good to go back on the court. The Eagles able to get that one over the net. A quick send over by the freshman Dinkle. That narrows it just to a 3-point deficit. 11-8 here in set number 2. It looks like Wright Oswald, head coach of the Eagles, making a substitution here. As back to serve will be Natalia Delancey. It's a good dig here from the Vikings. Boyer, a commanding attack there. That's, as I said, placement or power. Those are the two choices an attacker has. And it looks like Helms is opting to go with the latter and gets the kill.
My goodness, Luke, that's her 10th kill. She has 2 service aces on top of that. Among the defensive play that she has had so far for this Vikings team, as she is just stacking up the points.
And Boyer, another service ace. That's got to be at least 4 or 5 service aces here for the Vikings, as that has been a good bread and butter for them so far tonight. This one tipped over the net. Quick reactions there from Kula leads to another Helms kill, as Taylor Helms, senior night, and the senior is out to perform. As a timeout is called for the Eagles, as the Vikings, just like that, take a 14-8 lead here in set number 2. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, more Tuesday night volleyball here on News Channel Nebraska.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
That is literally the funniest thing ever.
And then I said,
it wasn't. but this guy could use a win. Even if it's not as big of a win as I get with free Kasasa Cash checking. Kasasa Cash pays me a really high rate and refunds ATM withdrawal fees nationwide. So I feel like a queen. Has a mega bank ever made you feel that way? Or is it more like this guy? Take back banking with Kasasa Cash.
Get Kasasa checking at Liberty First Credit Union.
Back here in Columbus, Nebraska, 14-8 lead for the Vikings, but now it's just to 5 as a block at the net from the Eagles. Does it look like Ransom got her hands in the way, or rather, excuse me, Sucksdorf got her hands in the way of that Kula attack. As on the sidelines, we were able to see Whitney Bonning make her way back to the bench for the Eagles. Looks like she does have a little bit of gauze stuffed up in her nose, but she was smiling as she came in, so that's a good sign for the Eagles.
Yeah, and she really did look two-faced to begin with. I think just kind of one of those inconveniences, you know, just get patched up, come back quick, and get back in the game.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite parts of volleyball. It always seems like the players are in great spirits. I'm not saying other sports you don't see that, but you see, you know, a lot, football, basketball. You see the intensity out on the court. With volleyball, it's a lot different. You see the good spirits after most points, regardless of the outcome. You see most of the players get into their circle, talk each other. A great block at the net from the Eagles, as that was, again, I believe, Sucksdorf, as she has now had a couple blocks at the net for Lutheran High. But as I was saying, it just seems like, oh, nope, see, this time it was Sophia Wolf blocking that one at the net. But it just seems like volleyball is just a different sport in that aspect. You see that team camaraderie, but you're with, I mean, for the Eagles, you're with a lot of your fellow players, not just during school, but also you've played 32 games with them so far this season.
Oh, a tight group without a doubt. It doesn't matter who you are. With the amount of games that these teams play each year, I mean, like you brought up a good point, Luke. I mean, they seem to be both in good spirits, whether it's good or bad, whatever the outcome seems to be. It just speaks volumes to the level of it, not only attitude, but sportsmanship between these two teams and these young women.
As back to serve is Reese. Kenna Reese set over the net for the Eagles. There's an attack here. Unable to deal with that one as Kiera Kula able to get the kill there. As a great pass there from Dawson. She's been what the Vikings have played through tonight. She's been the facilitator of the attacking offense for the Vikings. Tipped at the net by the Vikings here. Nice on the ground dig there from Ransom. And an attack over the net. Reagan Lewis gets the kill as a 7-point deficit is now what faces the Eagles. Again, it looks like
I mean, they're getting lucky. They're finding the seams of which they're able to get the ball through the defenders off that front row, and they're putting up a great effort here in the second set.
Baumgartel's serve, miscommunication. Diving effort keeps that one alive. And it looks like violation called on the Eagles. I want to point out, I'm not saying one person can lead to a point, but Kenzie Greisen, looks like just collides with that net here. Greisel did a great job keeping that one alive when there was some miscommunication on the court from the Vikings. As a quick set over the net for the Eagles. 19-12 now is our score here. That kill going to Sophia Wolf. Just a tough one to deal with for Kula and the Vikings. Jocelyn Martinez serves it off for the Eagles. Good pass. Punched over the net by Spence. Diving effort from Greisen, but unable to find one of her Vikings teammates. Now a 19-13 lead. Well, a 6-point deficit is attainable, and the Eagles have looked really good here in set number 2.
Well, they're picking it up, and they're starting to find a rhythm, but with the way that this Vikings team has been playing offensively and the aggression, I'd say this is a very offensive-dominated game on both parts. And now you're starting to see this Eagles team develop a rhythm after trailing early in the set, work their way back, and then it almost kind of seems like they trail, they work their way back, and then Lakeview finds a way to extend it even more.
Rowe back to serve. A high dig here for the Eagles. It's Greisen. Dawson then finds Taylor Helms. What a performance. Double-digit kills here from Helms. Up to 12 here in set number 2.
And you just can't say enough about her. I mean, she's been dominant the entire day. Set 1, set 2, and she's really just wanting to put this thing away.
222 kills on the season for the senior, as that one was blocked at the net. Emily Brandt able to put her paws up and keep that one on the Eagles side of the court. 22-13 lead here for the Vikings as they look to claim the first 2 sets. As Katie Rowe sends this one over. Dug up by Spence. Good pass from Baumgartel. Sent over. Free play here for the Vikings. Dawson just gets that one over the net. And that one into the net on the attack from the Eagles. And again, I want to point out, Emily Brandt on that previous point did a great job not colliding with the net. As again, that's obviously can't do that in high school volleyball. But you have to have a lot of balance to keep yourself from taking your momentum into the net.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I think on that last rally there, Dinkle got a little tied up in the front row. Like you said, balance is definitely a key indicator, being able to have possession, move over to the other side of the court. And that time, Dinkle just kind of lost her footing.
As Brandt's attack there can't find the back corner of the court. Substitution here as Sophia Wolf, the 5'9" junior, back into the game. Josie Spence now back to serve with the Eagles trailing by 9, 23-14. Good dig from Greisen. And an offhanded hit there for Taylor Helms. Number 13 for Helms tonight as she went the opposite side of the court where it looked like she was going. It actually hit off the side of her hand there. But that leads to set point here for the Vikings. Dug up by Baumgartel. Passed up to Spence, and Spence will send it over. Rowe. Set up by Mule. As this one sent over once again. As that attack goes into the net, an attacking error from Sophia Wolf ends in the Vikings claiming set number 2, 25-14, a 2-0 lead here for the Vikings over the Eagles. And we will take a short break before we get you the third set of action here in Columbus, Nebraska on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by 5 Points Bank. Trust a better bank with your financial needs. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health. Affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
I have seen other chiropractors in the past, but Dr. Kim really is in tune with your body and your individual needs. I have a really physically demanding job. She keeps my body going.
Being in the military, it's very hard on the body, so I see her quite often after drill weekends. I believe that the body is a machine, and the best way to heal it is being in alignment and letting the body do the work. There's no age too young or too old to see Dr. Kim.
A 2-0 lead here for the Vikings as they have claimed the last 2 sets, 25-13 and 25-14. Again, for the Vikings, they're coming off a long 5-set game against Crete, 17-9 Crete in Class B, as the fans here and the student section looking to celebrate senior night here with a win, as they have done a great job here. A 2-0 lead in set number 2. As Casey Bielitz very encouraged I must assume, with what he's seen from his team so far tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you can't ask for a better start. You can't, I mean, chalk it up to being a perfect game. You might as well see a sweep after this third set. At least that's what's most likely expected. But at the same time, you know, don't expect this Eagles team to completely go away. They found a little bit of rhythm there late in the second set, but of course their rhythm came at a little bit too late of a time, and that just gave the Vikings the opportunity to just hammer down the ball offensively, rack up as many kills as possible, especially for Helms on senior night. And so I'm interested to see this third set. I think the Eagles, if they maintain and sustain at least their rhythm that they were able to find in that second set, this one could be a lot closer of a third set.
15 wins on the season for the Vikings. They are very familiar with this area, being up 2-0 as they have had 12 games this season, 12 matches. Only see out 2 or 3 sets as they have played in 12 straight sweeps so far this year, with their only games going as far as their wins go. Now, their only games where they've won, and it's gone further than that, it's just 3. Against Scotus Central Catholic, back on September 2nd, they won 2-1. Then, obviously, most recently, their win against Crete, 5 sets. And then they were also involved in a 5-set thriller against Battle Creek, that one being played on the 14th of September. And so for Coach Bielitz, team is very familiar with going 2 straight or 3 straight sets to claim the victory, this one being their 16th on the season, if they're able to get this third set here. Just to start us off here in set number 3 will be Ransom. And a quick attack there. Only takes one quick offensive play there for the Vikings as Taylor Helms, once again, it's going to be tough to not choose her as player of the game.
Man, I'm starting to run out of ink on my pen here that our kind producer Danny was able to give to me. You might have a pen that might not have any more ink because the amount of kills that Helms has had here tonight.
No touch at the net for the Eagles. Means the Vikings will give up that second point here in set number 3. As Scott now back to serve, and we'll see what Coach Wright Oswald has dialed up here for set number 3. A couple errors here for the Vikings lead to 2 straight points for the Eagles. As again, early on in the first and second set, it's been very close early on. It's just the Vikings have been able to get that longevity of success.
And I believe that actually, Luke, this is the second time today, well, now not anymore, the second time that the Eagles have actually had a lead in a set. Other than that, I mean, it's been all Columbus Lakeview. But like I said, they did find that momentum in that second set, so expect that to creep into this third set here as now they, have found another lead and could potentially do it again. I spoke too soon.
Spence's attack goes into the net there as that, you got the commentator's curse. You jinxed it. As back to serve for the Vikings will be Helms. Again, it's just so difficult because you want to hit it over the tall Vikings front line, but at the same time, you don't want to give their defense a chance to set up and go right into the offensive set. And so it's pick your poison, really, as a mid-court attack there from Scott. Unable to keep that one in, sent it sailing out of bounds on the backside of the court as the Vikings take a 4-2 lead. That's the third time tonight. That one did get saved, I believe, by a Vikings cheerleader down there before going in to our camera, as that point will be for the Vikings. They've been on watch the entire night tonight. I mean, on both sides of the court, both teams doing a good job making sure the power's there. Just kind of be wary of those cameramen down there. As a pass here from Dawson sent over the net, just missing that backside corner. An attacking error will give the point to the Eagles. Way to get their arms up at the net, make it tough for any Vikings attacker there to see anything and really get a good play on that ball. Tough serve here. This one hits the net, as that one will be sent over. As a quick attack at the net, hits a couple of the hands up front, but Elena Hruska gets her first kill on the night. As again, having to go between a couple Eagles defenders there. That one hitting Dinkle right on the fingertips, but she found the window she needed to attack. And Hruska was willing to do it. What an attack there. Momentum taking you toward the scorer's table. She goes cross court with the attack. A great kill there from Reagan Lewis. As look at this, I mean, body's taking her one way. She's able to hit it perfectly, get that perfect spin on the ball, and just end up on the opposite side of the court. Eagles, nice attack there, but unable to see out that momentum. On the next point, served into the net, gives the Vikings a 7-4 lead.
And I just think that's incredible, Luke. You brought up a good point. You know, her body's taking her one way, but she's able to get the ball across the court and be able to finish with the kill. Just incredible athleticism.
And blocked at the net. Combo went up for that one, Rowe and Boyer. But it'll be Rowe who gets the credit for that block. As it's just so tough. I mean, you just look how tall they are. I mean, I'm going to say this, everyone towers over me. But both teams, or for the Vikings, that front line just towers over the net. And again, Kula getting another service ace for the Vikings, as they got to be close to that 10 mark on service aces tonight.
Oh, my goodness. I can't even tell you. I would not want to be on the other side of Boyer and Kula, as they are just staggering over the net, being able to just put up a dominating defensive effort, and deservingly so on senior night. And one thing I would want to say as we go into a timeout here, Luke, I would tell you this. I'd say that Helms is definitely is looking like our player of the game right now with the amount of kills that she has in 14 with 2 service aces, but also at the same time, Kula has been astounding on the defensive end with the team effort from Boyle. So here's what I would say. I would say Helms has been the offensive MVP, and the defensive MVP, give it to Kula. The 2 seniors getting it done for this Lakeview team tonight.
As Coach Bielitz, very encouraged by what his team is putting out here tonight. Coach Wright Oswald, again, in a moment like this, you're down 2-0, you're down 10-4 here in the first, early on here in set number 3. At this point, your message to your team, it's got to be, let's see what we can do. We built some momentum in that second set from the first set. Definitely played a bit better in that second set. Now in this third set, let's see what momentum we can bring. Because if you're able to get a set against a team like Lakeview, that's got to give you some encouragement as you continue on with the rest of the season.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you got to also consider that this Lutheran High Northeast team is still C2, and Lakeview is sitting at C1. So like you said, being able to get a set over a C1 team, let alone a good C1 team, you know, it's got to speak nothing but confidence. And this isn't a bad Eagles team, not by any means. And obviously they have a lot to build off of for the remainder of their short season, but still, you know, you can't walk out of this place, you know, with your heads down. You know, there's a lot of positives on both ends.
Kula added another service ace, tipped at the net by the Eagles, as Katie Rowe adds another kill. Katie Rowe, I want to bring her up. It feels like we've just been talking about Helms the entire night. Katie Rowe, a sophomore coming into this game, 187 kills so far this season for the Vikings. And she has done a fantastic job, not just tonight, but the entire season. The magic did have to end for Kula there, as she's had a couple service aces here in set number 3. Unable to see that one out as that ace, or that serve goes into the net. But for Katie Rowe, 187 kills so far as a sophomore. For Coach Bielitz, that's got to be encouraging to see not only your seniors a service ace on the Eagles end of the court, but not just seeing your seniors. Again, only 2 seniors on this roster for the Vikings. This team, again, built for this season. You could definitely see them in the postseason making some noise. But this is a team that's going to see beyond this season with leaders like Katie Rowe, who are going to have to not necessarily replace, but shift around and fill that hole that Helms is on this Vikings team next year.
Oh, no, I think you bring up a great point, Luke. I mean, yes, you're losing your star players and Helms and Kula, but taking a look at their depth and especially the other players on this team that have been making those big plays, expect definitely exciting years to come for this team.
Rowe, Boyer, and Dawson all listed as sophomores for the Vikings as they get another point here. 14-6 lead out of that timeout. The Vikings have still claimed all but 2 of the points as the Eagles down 10-4 in that timeout. Have lost since that timeout 4-2 as the Vikings back to serve will be Rowe. It's a good dig here from Wolf, tipped over the net, dealt with well. A spike at the net is going to fall on the Viking side of the court. Sophia Wolf going to be credited with that kill, as it looked like, again, similar, kind of rode the net a little bit before eking over to the Viking side of the court.
Yeah, you're correct there, Luke. Like you said, what were you saying? Surfing across the net?
I like alliterations like that, as that is Taylor Helms once again. Another kill for the senior, as that's now kill number 15 on the night for Helms, as she has just, I mean, I know it's senior night, and, you know, you shift how you want to play, but it just seems like the Vikings are just trying to feed the senior tonight, and she's done all but accept it, and they've played through her well so far this evening. As another miscommunication from the Eagles, point goes to the Vikings as they find themselves within 9 points here before claiming set number 3 and the match, as match point sits only 8 points away for the Vikings. As back to serve will be Dawson. It looks like a little bit, or have a, didn't serve. Oh, I see. Yeah, went back too far on the Eagles side of the court. So that's the call. That'll be another error on the Eagles. That will give the Vikings a 10-point lead, 17-7. Tipped over the net. Great dig there from Kula. They pass to the far side of the court, sent down to the earth as Sophia Wolf able to get the kill, as she has been one of the bright spots on this Eagles roster so far this evening. 5 kills now for Wolf.
Yeah, and you can kind of see Coach Casey starting to go to the bench as Samia Mule has now come out for the Vikings. You can kind of see that little bit of depth start to show later on in this third set.
As an attack here, diving effort from Spence keeps this one alive. And it'll be sent over by Baumgartel. Run up to the net before that attack, but it ends on the Viking side of the court. A great block at the net from the Eagles forces that one to end up on the Vikings side. Point goes to the Eagles, 17-9 lead here in set number 3.
Yeah, and Briggs tried to just throw that one down, but great defensive effort over by the Eagles front end. And
far side of the court, attack from Brandt. This one sent over, dug up by Greisen. As it'll be Brandt once again. This one a little bit softer. Wolf able to deal with it well. And it looks like that one hit the pin. The candy cane pole, as I call it. But nonetheless, that ends in the Vikings getting the point and taking the 18-9 lead here. As back to serve will be Brandt. As that is a service error from Brandt, as you saw on that Madison County Bank instant replay. It didn't look like that attack did hit the pin. But nonetheless, 18-10 now. Eagles able to claim that last point as they look to get themselves back into set number 3 here and prevent the sweep. But Taylor Helms says no as she gets that kill. Great pass, great passing, and then just ends in a great kill from Helms as she once again up to 16 kills on the evening.
Yeah, and she's 4 away from that 2-0. What an impressive night for Helms.
An absolute career night from Helms. This one's passed on the backside. That one looks like, yeah, I thought that came down quick. That hit the ceiling light. Got to watch for those bulbs. As this one sent down by Katie Rowe, the second team leader in kills. Able to make her name known here in set number 3 as the Vikings just find themselves 4 points away from match point and 5 points away from claiming set number 3 and get a sweep of the Eagles. As a nice dig here from Baumgartel. Jump at the net blocked by Rowe, but the Eagles able to keep it alive here. As another block at the net, Rowe once again. As Rowe now has 3 blocks here in set number 3. She's made things difficult on the attacking end. As Spence, again, trying to find that window. It looks like she was going to the far side of Rowe there, unable to get it past her. It's 21-10 the lead for the Vikings here. Good pass, set up, sent into the net by Reagan Lewis. Now just 3 points away here as a timeout is called by the Eagles. A 22-10 lead here for the Vikings, just 3 points away from claiming set number 3 as the Vikings after this contest, well, it's not postseason play, but it is a tournament as they'll be a part of the Central Conference tournament, 2 to 3 day tournament depending on how well you do. And we are covering that here on News Channel Nebraska. That one kicking off the 12th of October and carrying us through the weekend, I believe, as the final game, the third and first place matches take place on Saturday. And the team hosting it this year, the team down south, Seward, Nebraska, the Seward Blue Jays, actually hosting that one. Teams involved in the Central Conference include Adams Central, Aurora, Crete, Lexington, of course, Lakeview, GI Northwest, Schuyler, Seward, the hosts, and York, a big rivalry between Seward and York. I grew up near Seward, and so both those teams, not necessarily fans of each other. Maybe we'll get a Seward-York matchup in the Central Conference. What a set there over the net. That one looked like it was going out of bounds to the far side, and then it just seemed to catch a draft and just die right in midair.
Yeah, Helms tried to save it, but was unable to get that dig up, and great point from the Eagles.
As Lakeview trying for the attack here, kept alive somehow by the Eagles. What an effort on that play. As Rowe's attack at the net was blocked, but on the Eagles side, as that will give the Vikings the 23-11 lead here in set number 3 as they find themselves just 2 points away from moving to 16-6 on the season as they head into that Central Conference tournament. It's another serve over the net. Jarecki, attack here, dug up by Jarecki, tipped over the net. Rowe, quick reactions there. She hit that ball 4 times before being able to send it over the net. Diving effort by Jarecki, tipped over the net, kept up by Helms. It's a great rally here, and that one is blocked at the net by the Eagles. That will give them their 12th point. What an effort on that play.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I think that speaks volumes to this team's character. You know, not giving up, playing the whole way through. Yeah, you know, you're 2 kills away from the sweep, but they're still playing hard out there with a purpose. And, you know, they're doing a really good job.
As the Vikings 2 points away, as I said, from claiming set. Now 1 point away as it's match point here on senior night. 24-12 lead here for the Vikings. Move to 16-6 on the season. They're able to claim one of potentially many match points here. Eagles send it over. Diving effort, not just yet, the Eagles say, as they have a big hole to climb out of, but I've seen crazier things happen on a volleyball court. 24-13, Josie Spence trying to keep this one alive. Dug up in the back row. Good pass, Rowe. Spence on the serve, able to get the dig there. And a little bit of a mistiming there from Wolf into the net, and the Vikings claim the match here in 3-0, 25-13 here in set number 3 as they claim the sweep and move to 16-6 on the season. The Eagles move to 5-28 on the season. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll move into our postgame where we'll hear from Coach Casey Bielitz, as well as our player of the game on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Sundance Investments. At Sundance Investments, trust is a given. Contact them today to review your investments and insurance. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Get rewarded and earn interest for using your My Design Rewards checking account with Midwest Bank. I'm volleyball player Allie Badenhorst, and I get rewarded when I use my debit card grabbing a bite to eat or getting coffee before class. It's easy, simple, and smart. It's not about how much money I have in my account. I get rewarded just for using my debit card at all my favorite places. Find out more at MidwestBank.com. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously, we want to dress sharp, we have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, you know, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Bank of the Valley, Together We Go Further, and by Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill. The place to be after the game is Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill in Columbus.
Back here in Columbus, Nebraska, as Lakeview, the Vikings able to take the win over the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles, 3-0. We've got Andrew standing by with the head coach of the Vikings, Coach Bielitz. We'll send it down to him.
Hi, guys. Well, welcome to the NCN post-game show here. I'm down here with head coach of Columbus Lakeview, Coach Casey Bielitz. Coach, you guys got the sweep here tonight, and I mean, on senior night, you know, what does it mean to get that win?
Well, you know, you always want to honor the seniors the right way, and you know, so that's not just winning, but that's hopefully playing Lakeview volleyball and kind of living up to the standard that the seniors have set. And I feel good about the job that all of the players who went in tonight did in living up to that standard and honoring our seniors the right way.
Absolutely, Coach. And with tonight being senior night, obviously nearing the end of the postseason,
yeah.
you have a you know, you're ranked number 11 for a reason. You guys are a very poised team. And looking ahead forward into the postseason, what do you expect, at least in these coming weeks?
Well, we've got 2 really big weeks between us and the postseason. Conference tournament this week, 3 hard matches next week, and that's exactly what we need. So looking forward, we got to prepare really well over these 2 weeks so that we've got an opportunity to go do what we all want to do in the postseason. Obviously, every team in the state is looking for that trip to the state tournament. So are we. But we got 2 weeks of really good preparation between us and that postseason. But I feel like we've headed the right direction, particularly the last 2 weeks. So if we can keep taking those steps in the right direction, then I want us to expect to be there. I don't want us to hope. I want us to expect.
Absolutely, Coach. And I mean, one last question for you. Helms, Kula, they both had amazing nights. Helms especially putting up 16 kills along with 2 service aces, just playing great on both sides of the ball, Coach.
Yep.
How can you credit your senior success here tonight?
Well, there's no question about it, not just tonight. As I said, I think these last 2 weeks we maybe have shifted into another gear a little bit, and those 2 are a huge part of the reason. Kiara came back from an ankle injury, and when she came back, she really was playing at maybe another level even. And Taylor has reached another level in terms of consistency. I mean, yeah, I don't know what those numbers were overall tonight, but she put up some good numbers. And it's the leadership by example, and then it's also the leadership in terms of what they're telling their teammates. We'll go as far as those 2 take us.
Well, Coach, congratulations on your 16th win tonight, and good luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. And now we'll bring on our player of the game, Taylor Helms. She's put up quite the impressive numbers here tonight. Taylor, how you doing? Let's go over a little bit of your numbers here. Very impressive as to why you're our player of the game. 16 kills along with 2 service aces, as well as an astounding defensive effort. Where do you owe your credit tonight?
Definitely my setter and my passers. Me and Grace have been working really hard to find our connection throughout the year, and then our passes just go out all the time.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, tonight's a very special night, especially for you and Kiara Kula as well, having it be senior night. You know, is there a little bit of emotions running through because, you know, this is potentially one of your last home games here?
Yeah, there definitely was. I mean, just getting to play with these girls means everything, so.
And I saw you guys had a very nice ceremony before the game as well. I guess what's that kind of like having your family be a part of this as well?
It's very moving. It means a lot because they've always been there for me, so it's really nice to have that.
And as you guys are starting to creep into the postseason here, I mean, you guys have a couple of big weeks coming up, a couple of very dominating opponents, but you guys are sitting at number 11. If you ask me, I think it should be higher. You guys are a very dominating team. What are you guys expecting, at least for these next coming weeks and looking into the postseason?
I think we're just going to keep working hard. We're just going to keep reaching for the goals that we want to achieve, just getting better every day.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your win tonight and being player of the game on senior night.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And back to you guys with more NCN Sports post-game show.
As Andrew said, great conversations there with Coach and Taylor Helms, the players and coach of the night, as we will move into our top plays of the night. It was a fantastic night here. Wish I could have been outside. They should have played this one outdoors. The Vikings coming into this game 15-6 on the season, celebrating their senior night here. The 2 seniors on the team, Kiara Kula and Taylor Helms, as Taylor Helms' name will be brought up quite a few times here as we take a look at these highlights right on that far side of the court, just pinpoint, making it so difficult for the Eagles. The entirety of the night gets the kill there, but the Eagles ready to go. They were blocking quite a bit at the net there. They had a handful of blocks throughout the contest, but once again, Taylor Helms, again, committed to play at Concordia University in Seward. She definitely made her name known tonight. And again, another block at the net. That one courtesy for the Eagles of Kennedy Sucksdorf. She did that a couple times tonight, contributed quite a few blocks. But it wasn't just Helms for the Vikings. It was also Rowe, Katie Rowe, the second team leader on the Vikings going into this season. As again, Katie Rowe, another commanding block for Rowe. But Taylor Helms can't quite get her name out of that stat sheet yet, as she is attacking that back court, that backside of the Eagles, picking places where no other Eagles defender was. Fantastic performance tonight. On the opposite side, a great kill for the Eagles here, is that one courtesy of Sophia Wolf, who also had 5 kills this evening for the Eagles, but nonetheless, the Vikings move to 16-6 on this season as the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles fall to 5-28 on the night. It was a fantastic night here in Columbus, Nebraska. Lakeview renovated their gym a handful of years ago. They got that glass right on the outside. It's so nice to see these schools keep up their gyms. It was a fantastic night of volleyball here on Tuesday night. Tuesday night volleyball, as one of my fellow people say, Kalen Devin, he wants to coin that term, Tuesday night volleyball. But that will wrap things up here from Columbus, Nebraska. Again, the Lutheran High Northeast Eagles falling to the Columbus Lakeview Vikings 3-0, 25-13, 25-14, and 25-12. Luke Stera here and Andrew Pfeiffer as well saying so long from Columbus.